Okay, Hector, you can open your eyes. I can still feel the breeze. It'll be easier if you open them now. I know what I'm doing. Always feel weird in one of these. If you lived without sin, you'd feel okay. Nobody is that pure. Tell that to Tiari. Greetings, Paizo. Midday? Pardon, we've been expecting you. Curse did say he'd send word. You recognized us quickly. Curse is more observant than I gave him credit. He said an eccentric man would arrive, probably with eyes closed, along with another. Still not wrong. He is Rodrik's brother. That side proves it. Hector is known for it. First, Head Priestess Tiari wants a word. Ah, the scholars. Tell me, were you truly close to young Rodrik Graff after knowing him for a few scant days? What? I see, a true servitor of Iomedaean, wise and careful. Seriously, what? Anyone can come in and view Rodrik if they so wish. It is commonplace before the pyre. Yet for Cursed to bother informing me, with a face lacking his usual nerves, and not tell me why. It bothers me. Is this why we're talking to you and weren't taken to Rodrik? It is. Why are you actually here? To investigate his murder. I see. So this is a secret? Yes, to avoid spreading more distrust amongst the populace than already present. Among the populace, aren't you kind of sidestepping true now? So the rumors are true. This church doesn't fully affiliate with the town. We all have our duties. Lastwall cannot have the hold line pushed further, and Trunau is an excellent vantage point for recon. Trunau's day-to-day is extra. Oh, come on now. I've been around so many people who hide their feelings. You can't fool me. You like Trunau, don't you? Even blind, I can hear the wistfulness of your words. You wish to aid the town. 1 point to you. Earn 3 and maybe you shall learn something. Still, putting up a bit too much of a wall there. You make it sound like there's no camaraderie whatsoever. Though I'm sure if the orcs raid, correction, when the raiders come. It is not just orcs. Humans, dwarves, trolls, anything that can band together against order can attack this place. The orcs of the Hold will take anyone. Shame to see such acceptance amongst evil, and so little of it here. We're aware, but this is a topic for later. Let's get to Rodrik. This way. And to finish up, during and after attacks, we heal, help, and defend. Well, it's your lives too. Okay, Hector. Breathe deep and slow. I told you it would be easier if you opened them earlier. Ow! Rodrik. You will not learn a thing if you do not look. I will not grant you reprieve a second time. Prepare yourself. That is the first step. Be sure to move your eyes over the rest before your friend is done. I'll work for both of us. In that case, since you started with the head, let's have a look at that hope knife. Curious, it is still within the sheath. How could anyone conclude this as a suicide? Maybe thought he'd put it back? Rodrik would have cleaned regularly. This can't be old blood. I'd agree, this is definitely fresh. I bet if he killed himself, he would wipe it off before storing. Right, we're both right. Wait, this is chipped, and in several places. Unlikely, can't cut right if there's jagged edges. Slicing through flesh wouldn't do this, and there's no way he'd accidentally hit bone. Unless the one to use this didn't know what she was doing. Given everything else we've learned, I find that also unlikely. It couldn't be. Are we certain this is Rodrik's hope knife? If it weren't, then whose is this and where's his? Clearly he wouldn't lose it. Indeed, but to have this many breaks at the edges, this is definitely wrong. Well, it's still right, as the murder weapon, with all the meaty stuff between the jags. The meaty stuff. There, and all the nicks, really. Yes, the flesh. I was about to bring that up. The actual wounds will tell us more. Indeed. Shouldn't there be blood across this midsection? Certainly, if he cut himself. After cutting one wrist, he'd have to move that gushing wound across his body to the other wrist. Even if he held them both to one side, they were lying at either side, so they'd have to cross his belly at some point. Nothing on the legs either, so he wasn't sitting up. It's impossible for him to have done this to himself. And it's obvious, too. Easy to demonstrate and explain. To who? Cursed already knows this is a murder. We're here to find the culprit. That woman, she's more suspicious than ever. Though, there are other problems. I can't see Rodrik being overpowered. There's no sign of struggle in his room, and Cham didn't hear any such thing, not even a peep. He must have been out already, and not just asleep. A trained and experienced offender should wake up with the slightest of bumps. These cuts aren't bone deep. The chips weren't from this. That means this truly isn't Rodrik's hope knife. Where's his, and why was this placed on him in the first place? To make this suicide more believable, more shocking. Perhaps this was an attack on Trunau's morale, to get the people to distrust one another. That woman did hate the grass. She's now the official suspect. Agreed. But now we have the question of how Rodrik was knocked out. A head injury. I can't find any sign of head trauma, nor I. Poisonous bite, then. She had a snake somewhere. Let's look him over. Mind your hands. Do I look like a lecher? I don't see anything. Were you even looking? Oh, I was. Whatever. So, what do we know about that night? Someone entered his room and snuck off, likely by magic. The out-of-towners, the halfling fight. His food! Someone tampered with it. We need a sample. Jam's sure to have cleaned the skillet and plate. We'll have an autopsy. Wait, I remember something. This was beside his desk. And that is 6 points. You have doubled your quota. Time for your reward. Although there's not much left I can add. So we have passed your test. Wait, were you seriously keeping score? And there's no way you picked up on that. No need for that. You have both done very well. I will now tell you what I have noticed. You couldn't have done so sooner, as I did not know your capabilities. If Cust had chosen enough detectives, the failure of this investigation would be his responsibility. It is not my say, and this is unofficial anyway. He did avoid telling me anything, did he not? However, I do wish to see this injustice righted. Labeling his death as suicide is wrong. I could tell at a glance. So you would have let us bumble along, not saying a word? I would have informed Cust alone. What did you notice? You have learned most of what I could tell, but I can reinforce your findings. The blade sheathed is most probably the weapon of murder. I could see the blood, chips, and flesh from here. From my years living in Trunau, I can verify that the people take excellent care of their hope knives, for sentimental but primarily practical reasons. Some are engraved, and it is tradition for lovers to exchange theirs. Then Rodrik's must be with Brynja. Then where's Brynja's? Never mind. That knife is neither. The design of a hilt knife is somewhat unique. The shape, sheath, and chain attachment. Each are made identical in these ways, and of great quality. Once you know this knife, you will not mistake it for another blade. That is a true hope knife, but not one of Trunau, unless someone is holding quite a grudge. Then that woman, She only hated the grass and still lives here, doesn't... right. Cham said she was a traveler. Perhaps she left years ago. Hatred brewing. Maybe for the scar, kinda light for this much anger. We'll just have to find her and ask directly. Pretend to agree with her. I'm down for that. You have a plan moving forward. Good. First I shall finish here. The blood is concentrated at the wrists and sides, little of it elsewhere. He could not have done this to himself. This happened when he was unconscious, rendered so by a poisoned biscuit. My spell has verified this fact. Oh, I've got this. Just use the pew. Isn't that sacrilege? No, it is a bench housed within a church. It shall serve as a table for now. But do mind your chemicals. I do not want any stains. You got it. This is oil of Taggart. It's been diluted too. It would have taken an hour or maybe longer to kick in, and wouldn't keep him down for more than that. This wasn't just a murder. It was an assassination. We have to find her. Then to her lover's recently purchased home. Should you need corroboration on the facts we have established, I shall provide. Lastly, you have proven yourselves to be quite capable. I am available should you need assistance. Thank you, Head Priestess. Thanks, we'll probably need it. We'll be off now. But can we keep the knife? We may need it. It is not his, and the owner clearly do not wish to keep it. Thanks. Shh. Oh, right, that part. Take your time. I doubt she's left town. A house is no small purchase. I'll be looking at the bas-reliefs. Saying goodbye is never easy, but once you manage the words, those feelings can flow once more. Rodrik, I